Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. You guys know the drill. Jump in here, right here. Yeah, get in the comments right now, wherever you're at on Facebook or YouTube. Tell us where you're joining us from. Say hi to us. Let us know that you are here. Also, because tonight is a live Q&A, you can start posting your questions. Anything that's on the business side of coaching, anything that's about attracting clients, anything that's about marketing, anything that's a challenge with regard to working with clients, any kind of stuck places on the learning end or anything else. We want to be able to help you. I know many of you are aspiring coaches, but some of you might have been in the trenches a little bit and you're having some challenges out there. We want to really be able to help you address them and think about those things. So if you would jump in and say hello to us. Let me say hello to the people who are saying hello to me. Thomas from Oregon. Just wanted to say I'm excited about coming off boot camp and having passed the certification exam. Way to go, Thomas. Way to go, bro. Here is Lynette, who's saying hello, everyone. Joining us from Virginia. Joan is joining us from Bakersfield. Harvey is joining us from South Florida. Shomer joining us from Atlanta. Stoked about what's up next. Very cool. I don't know who this is. You're probably joining us from Power Lunch, and it doesn't allow us to see your name in there. So if you want to give us your name, that would be great. Joining from Pennsylvania. Who else do I need to say hello to? Matt is joining us from Nova Scotia. Welcome, Matt. Jay is joining us from Arkansas. Very good. I know where that's at. I've been there many times. Diane's joining us from South Carolina. Let's see if I can actually get that up. Tamala is joining us, or is it Tamala joining us from Dallas? Cool. And Elle is joining us from. Are you in San Diego or South Dakota? I'm gonna assume it. My first thought is it's San Diego. So welcome. Teresa is saying hello. There's Carrie joining us from Beaverton, Oregon. And China is joining us from North Carolina. Thanks for giving us a pronunciation guide. I used to always have to give a pronunciation guide for my last name, which is Dabdu, because most people don't know how to pronounce that. Lynn is joining us from Vermont. Teresa is joining us from Kissimmee, Florida. Very good. Anybody else want to say hello? Also, if you're getting in, jump into the comments. For one, it tells Facebook and it tells YouTube that we're doing a good job. So anything that you do that engages with us tells them that we're doing a good job. And so that allows it to get out to more people. So like this, share it, also comment. Also, go ahead and start throwing your questions in for me tonight, because tonight is a live Q&A. Why are we doing a live Q&A? Well, it's something that I actually do with our students who are part of our Jumpstart program every Wednesday, where every Wednesday what I do with our students is anything that is coaching related, anything that's business related, anything that's a challenge with working with clients or anything else. Or what we also do as well is we'll review websites, we'll review what people are doing marketing wise, branding, all of that. It's an incredible community of people that I go live with every Wednesday. So what are some of the things that are actually included in that? Just want to give you a preview of this. Jumpstart is a business development program that also includes training and certification. Now, most schools that are out there actually only do really one thing. Usually most of the schools do one thing, and they do one thing well, which is training and certifying coaches, and they give you a certificate and you have no idea how to go out there and get clients or anything else. And we faced this head on back in 2016 when we launched our Jumpstart program to begin with. But it's grown exponentially since then as we've grown as a school as well. The stuff that Jumpstart also includes, besides just the life coach certification course and training, is actually, it says next live weekend. We just came out of this weekend, which is our live online boot camp. But you can also participate in fully online and self-paced. And so our boot camp, we have an entire weekend that's dedicated to training and certifying coaches in an accelerated format. And so basically, I'm kind of recovering even today. We do a Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. There's role playing. I walk you through all of the core competencies. There are a lot of tools. There are a lot of samples and a lot of different things plus the coolest thing is that you interact with a community of coaches who are learning with you, and you have an ongoing relationship with those people as you connect out of that. That's a weekend. That's a weekend format, but you also, if you enroll right now, you have instant access to the replays of other boot camps. So you can actually go through it self-paced, and you can always join a boot camp in the future that's live. We also have another program that falls under Jumpstart, and it's called Brand Camp. That's available in your student dashboard as soon as you enroll. It's 13 hours of training where we give you the step-by-step on how to develop your marketing messaging. It's how to develop your website, search engine optimization, how to write a sales page, how to write an email. What do we want to give you is in this, because I see a lot of coaches struggle coming out of the gate to explain what coaching is. Because like I told our coaches this weekend, you can't sell coaching. Nobody knows what it is. So most coaches are just trying to explain it to someone. And you know what? If you're having to explain what it is that you do to someone, there's no way that you can convince them to buy it. What do people buy? Just in its short version, people buy solutions to a problem that they're already aware of that they want to solve. So what we do in Brand Camp is that we show you how to build your coaching practice around you, how to choose your target market, how to choose your niche, how to attract them through messaging that actually connects with what their problem is. And it's not hard, but you need steps. And what we do with everything that we do in Jumpstart is we take the guesswork away. We're not making you think about what could work or what should work or whatever. For me, I've been successful as a multi-six-figure coach, and I've also made over $1 million online. Not bragging, just that you need to know that I've walked through the journey that you're getting ready to walk through. And I don't think that building a coaching practice is rocket science, but there are steps that are really helpful if you just know that people have went along in front of you, not the people who are necessarily putting a bunch of ads on Instagram and Facebook, and they're all trying to get your attention. And they're like, nah, and they're dancing and all of this other stuff. We're really non-hype and non-exaggeration. Here's the steps of what you need to do. Let's get rid of all. And the other thing is that what I try to do is I try to go after the self-doubt. I try to go after whatever those roadblocks that we've created for ourselves that keep you from being able to move forward as we're all doing this. We'll also have another thing that we just launched this summer called the coaching product launch blueprint. And basically, if you don't even know what you're getting ready to do and what you have to offer, 8 sessions that walk you from zero to launch, helping you brainstorm your idea, your product, and this is for any kind of product, whether it's an online program, whether it's a webinar, whatever it is that you really have a passion for. We show you how to build that in something that's really a lot more tangible for somebody to buy. Listen, nobody wants to buy coaching packages. No one's going to buy your 4 sessions for $1,000 or anything else because they don't even know what they're buying. What we do in this is that we show people how to really package something, because you don't package sessions. What do you package? You package a solution to a problem. Makes sense for people. So all of this is included, a 14-day product launch sequence. We show you the pre-launch sequence, what you need to do from the very beginning to end, social media posts, emails, all of that stuff is actually included in this, and we walk it out with you. All of these things are included, including the Jumpstart program that covers literally everything. I mean, when I say literally everything, I've probably in the last 10 years been, as a coach trainer, have been asked, I know every question that you want to ask and that you're thinking about. I have not heard a new question in 10 years. I really haven't. What we've always tried to do is be relevant with where the market's going, with how we offer, being virtual, being online, post-COVID, all of those other things. What we've always tried to do is to be ahead of the curve. So even before you have the question, we have an answer for it. $97 a month. If you were to pay for all of these things through trying to find an online company that could show you how to do this stuff, if you were going to go somewhere else and get trained and certified, between both of those things, you'd probably be looking at like 10 grand, and probably more like 10 grand a month. It's $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment, and anybody can do that. Like, if you don't think that you can do $97 a month to build a 6-figure practice, I'm not sure that you'll ever start a coaching practice, because that is, in my opinion, that's a real question about your own ability to be really successful as a coach. Has a lot more to do with belief systems than anything else. $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment. I would have loved that instead of just getting trained and certified like I did personally and being thousands of dollars in the hole. So there's a link inside the description of this video. If you want to get enrolled, it'll take you about 90 seconds to do that. All right. Now that I've said that, hopefully some people have asked some questions and I'll be able to jump in and look at what those things are. So what questions do you guys have for me this week? Let me look. Lynn says, how do we decide the best type of course to create? Is it better to use videos combined with assignments? Are assignments even necessary? Well, I mean, I really think it's determined by what does it take to be able to get the result that you want somebody to get. And the second thing that I would say is also thinking about the type of learners that you have in front of you. One of the things that I see for coaches is that a lot of times we offer what we want to offer, and we also ask questions, and we also produce things that are kind of out of our own learning style. A lot of times we're doing things that we think were helpful for us, but we also have to understand that if we're going to offer an online program, an online course, or whatever, you have different kinds of learners. Some people who are really good at listening, some people who are much better visual learners than they are. And some people are also really good processors that are more inward, and having an assignment, having a document to go through or something like that. I think that what we're able to do with online learning is that we're able to understand how people process things. And if you offer multiple things rather than just video, rather than just audio, rather than just an assignment, rather than just a reading, what we can actually do is that we can cover all of these different learning styles, and we can help somebody get breakthrough. Because it's interesting listening to some people. Like, some people don't want to watch a video at all. They just want the book. Like, and I can say this. I can remember going to trainings as a coach, because I would always do, ongoing training and development and everything else. And I can remember getting there, and I'm like, all I want is the book that I'm going to get out of this thing, because I would have the tendency to just get distracted, because most coach training that I was going to, they lock you up in a hotel ballroom for like 3 days in order to earn that certification. And you're there from 9 in the morning until like 9 at night. And I was just like, I would be exhausted. And so a lot of times I wouldn't be processing, because I was just tired. And there's some people who are in the room that are asking questions that I'm not interested in and everything else. And when they had that book, and when they set it on the table at the very beginning, because you couldn't get the book, you couldn't get it online, you couldn't buy it anywhere else, you could only get it as a result of the training, because you were going to earn the opportunity to facilitate what they were sharing. And I'd be like, this is what I'm going to get. Like, I might have even turned on my phone to record some of the stuff, but I would go back home and personally, I would go through the book, and I would look at the visuals that were on there and some of the questions and everything else. And that was always my learning style. Now, I like video, but but if I'm not writing along with what the video is, if I don't have a cheat sheet that I follow through, I usually miss a lot of the things. And so this is why we have this opportunity with online, is that if we only leave it to video, if we only leave it to audio, if we only make it where somebody's reading a screen, or they only get a handout or something like that, I think that we're leaving some people behind when it comes to the development. It doesn't mean that you've got to have extensive kinds of things. Like, if you guys ever want to do online courses and everything else, sometimes less is more, from the standpoint of how long, the length of a video. Can you take a hour-long video and make it into 10 or 15 minutes, or bite-sized chunks that they could go into? Can you not give somebody a document? Because the value in something is not in the length of it, it's in the profoundness of it and the simplicity of it. That's why even in our Jumpstart program and everything else, we try to make things really simple tools that are really powerful, help you get a result faster. And so there's some of those things that, if you give somebody a 500-page book, they're probably never going to read it. Most people. There's going to be a few people who will. You give somebody a book that they could read in one sitting, and it's got and a lot of it is full of assignments in that they in processing, then they'll probably go through that. But the likelihood of them going through that. So that's the way that I would build something out, is considering all of those things. And you'll have to consider, are you going to go live with some of the videos, or do you want them self-service, self-paced, or whatever? You just have to know your target market and how you want to offer your services. But there's a lot of value in live, and there's also a lot of value with just online self-paced. You do it on your own time. So think about this for all of you. If you build something that's online, and if somebody looks at a website, just in the sales page, just in general, and they're weighing out the value of something, if you only say eight 15-minute videos, well, it probably doesn't sound like a whole lot of value to that. But if you have 8 videos, and then you also have an assessment that's in there, tools, daily action plan, you know, a Facebook group, you have all of these different components, then what it does for them is that it builds the value for them as they're looking at it. Because that's the other thing that they've got to justify the price tag. For one, we need to know what the problem is, and we need to have the program built around helping people get a solution. But when they look at the features at the very end, when they're going to make a buying decision, having all of those things around not only is going to help our potential client get the breakthrough that they want, because everybody's a different processor, it's also going to help them make a buying decision, because they're going to look at that and they say, well, there's a lot involved in this particular course, and it's not just a few videos. So hopefully that's helpful, and give you guys some encouragement moving forward. Let's see. Let me go back in time. Let's see. Oh, I got to go way back, because there's like a lot of things that are on here. So let me see if I can go back and see if I missed any question that somebody was asking me to answer. So I have to go way back. Let me say hi to a few people who said hi to me as well. Who else do I need to say hi to? Let me see if I can catch up. Cynthia from Chattanooga. I know where that is. That's such a great city. It really is. It's a really great tech city as well. Ebony is saying hello. Bernard is joining us from Zimbabwe. Who else do I need to see? Oh, that's Dan, who says, I just joined Jumpstart on Friday. Is there another place I could be joining from? Oh, well, you're probably in Power Lunch right now. You're probably in our Power Lunch group. And so if you go just on the like page, the fan page for me, that's why I'll be able to see your actual name when we join in there. Jason is joining from Kentucky. How's it going? Lynette says, can't say enough about Jumpstart. It's the bomb and so worth your money and time. Paul is great, and the community is awesome. And Harvey says, Jumpstart is the best. My practice has soared since I have met Paul and launched my business. Harvey is a 6-figure coach already, you guys. He's just ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. Tara from Vegas. Hey, it's Donna, who is with us for boot camp over the weekend, and from New Hampshire, and she said it was awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Let me see. Who else do I need to say hello to? Marina says, I know we talked about this on the weekend boot camp, but I'm at a standstill for niche. So to figure it out and get clear, or just start coaching somewhere close to it. I have 2 areas that I like to be engaged with. So I guess maybe just get me through the thought process for niche again. Okay. So niche in and of itself, in its most simplest form, I'm gonna see if I can get a whiteboard really quick and help you guys think through it just really quickly. Now, one thing that I will say, now obviously I go into extensive detail. I've never not been able to help someone discover their niche. And what we do in Jumpstart is that we actually give you tools for you to think through these things. And there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different angles that I help people think about that. One thing that I will say is that inside of, even for free, on my website, ilifecoachtraining.com for the school. If you just type in niche in the search bar on there, like what I'm going to do just really quickly as I'm sitting here, I have so many articles in there that show you how to actually find your niche, and you can probably just even find it there without a big hassle. But let me just at least put our website in the comments, and that you guys can go in there. And basically, if you go under articles, you can get it and just search for niche once you go under articles. So what can I tell you about niche in and of itself, just in its most basic form? Well, a niche, the easiest way for you to think about a niche is that a niche is composed of two different things. And some of you like to say niche. That's fine. I still say niche. I know I'm saying it wrong. So anyway, so in a niche, really in its most basic form, a niche is composed of people plus problem. And why most coaches get stuck and they have a hard time selling their services, it's because they haven't established this yet. So you know what coaches try to sell? Your best life. And nobody knows what the heck that is. It doesn't connect with somebody's heart. So what do we need to do? We need to think about the people. What people? The people, in some cases, if you go back in your journey of your life, there's probably a certain people group that is out there that you've probably helped your whole life. And who are these people? I mean, they could be men, they could be women, they could be couples, they could be married couples. It could be a student. Your people could be a student. I'm just giving you some examples of people that I know who have chosen a niche, and the people is your target market, right? So they're probably a certain age group. They could be a part of a particular religion, have a specific faith background. They could be someone in business. Maybe they're a salesperson. I'm just thinking of what some of the people, even in our current group, is. They could be a writer. So your people might not necessarily be just focused on a particular age group, but that they might be doing something. Might be leaders. Like, so for a leadership coach, there might be executives who do a particular kind of job. So what I would say is that when you begin with your people, think about the people that you are most passionate about. And so what I always tell our coaches to do as they're thinking through this, think about your life. Think about the people who always show up at your doorstep. Who are the people that you've helped the most, that you're still passionate? Who are the people that you're passionate about that don't demotivate you? Like, you never want to work with people who are energy vampires. Have you ever met an energy vampire before? That when you're around them, they just suck you dry, and that there's just something about them that's just like, man, this kind of person just doesn't give me life. Well, you don't want to coach those kinds of people. In a coaching world, when you start your own business, you can actually work with the people that you love being around, because the people are going to be half of your business from the standpoint of you got people and problem. So I want to choose people that bring me to life. And you know what? If you do, you'll never go to work again for the rest of your life. You're going to be like so energized because you're around people who motivate you, who give you life, and that you're excited about. So think about the people. And then you know what you're going to do with those people is that you're going to do your homework. What is the homework of those people? Well, what you're also going to find out or figure out is that there's a problem. So there's a people. Look at your passion right now. And there's a people that fit in your passion, and there's probably a problem that fits in there as well. The problem that you're so excited about, problem that maybe you've overcome in your life. And I know that we've overcome maybe a lot of problems. There's a lot of different things that are out there. But what I'm saying for you guys is you choose a niche. You need to choose one people group because you can only date one person at a time, and choose one problem because you don't want to be confusing two people. One people, one problem. And we might as well choose a problem that we're passionate about. Maybe something that has come out of our background, that we have a skill around, that we have knowledge around, that we've overcome ourselves. It's come out of, because some of the other things that come out of what we choose. See, I'm giving you ideas here as you're choosing a niche. You need to choose something that you're passionate about. You need to choose a problem. Some of these other things that we've got to think about, like knowledge. What do you know about? And some of you have unusual knowledge about certain kinds of things. So you've got knowledge around things. Some of you have, wisdom, facts, all kinds of different things that are around there. What else? What else do you find? Well, you probably have an experience that is unique. Maybe you've overcome something. One of our coaches right now, she's specifically doing coaching in the relationship realm, but she's doing it with blended families. It's beautiful. There's a lot of blended families in the world. You know how few coaches that there are for blended families? Probably very few. Now, here's the interesting thing for her. As she's doing coaching with blended families, she's going to be the go-to person. If she just said she was going to be a relationship coach, she is probably missing out on the uniqueness, for one, that there are specific problems that come with having a blended family, aren't there? And she's passionate about it already because it's something that she really knows a lot about. She has a lot of wisdom. She has a ton of experience out of that realm. And so there's a lot to give, so that, you know what she knows probably better than anything? She knows the problem and all of these things probably ahead of time. Let's say that somebody's thinking about becoming a blended family, or they're just started. They have no idea what's getting ready to come their way. They don't even know what questions to ask sometimes. Or they get in the middle and there's challenges that are in there. And so what she does is that, for any of you, you do your homework on your people and you do your homework on the problem. You know what you end up doing is that you know your people and you know your problem, you know them backwards and forwards. And you know what you get then? You get a niche and you get all of your branding and your marketing messaging. That's where it all comes from. Because the only reason why somebody's going to buy your coaching is that they know it's for them. And when somebody comes to your website, you should know in 3 seconds who this is for. And you should also know what problem that your coaching actually helps people solve. Oh, and for any of you who are looking for a coach for blended families, then Tara, who's watching right now, is that coach that I'm talking about. So if you're looking specifically for that help, hey, I'd love to send her business. So just put a message in the comments or find her messaging, that she made a comment earlier or whatever, because that's what she's doing. So a lot of coaches, though, don't think that choosing a niche is that important, or some coaches are actually afraid of it because they think that it's going to narrow themselves too much. But again, if I'm a blended family, I'm not going to look for a life coach and I'm not going to look for a relationship coach. Probably for most blended families, they're like, well, I didn't even know that there was such a thing as a coach for blended families. And you know what they're going to think? This person knows what we're walking out more than anybody else in the world because they have specialized. And you know what that means? That means that they're going to created a door for their business for that unique thing. Now, for those of you who can't choose your niche based on even the things that I said right here, passion, problem, knowledge, experience, things that you just know about. Or I'll give you another one. Another one is skill. When I say skill, what are we talking about? Well, it might be something that you know a lot about because you have a skill area around something, and that you can build a coaching practice around there. Really, what we end up doing is that we bring all of these things together. Like one of our coaches who's watching right now, Harvey, is a sales coach. He's got decades and decades of experience. So his experience, you know what he knows more than anything? He knows all the problems that salespeople have. He knows the emotional component of it. He has the skill side covered. He's got a lot of wisdom. He knows the ups and downs, the roller coaster. He knows in explicit detail what every salesperson is waking up and worrying about every day. He knows that problem better than anybody, and he's passionate about it. So you know what he's done? 6-figure coaching practice by bringing these things together. Now, if you guys can't put these things together and choose a niche out of it, then you're probably overthinking it. I'll throw one more question out there, and it's the $1 million question. If you knew that you could make $1 million off of any one niche that's out there, but you can only choose one. You can only choose one out of all this. Which one would you choose? Because I want to make sure that scarcity isn't informing the decision for you. I want these things to inform the decision. Because listen, if you can put these things together, There's 8 billion people on the planet. You can find your people. You only need to find 5 to become a six-figure coach, quite frankly. You don't need a whole lot of people. You don't need a whole lot of clients to come into six figures either. As I show in our Jumpstart program, and I talked about it a little bit this weekend in boot camp, is that we want to find multiple ways to be able to serve as many people as we possibly can. And it's not just about getting one-on-one clients. There's a lot of different ways. Online programs, webinars, there's all kinds of different ways that you can actually serve people. And what it does is it creates another stream of income for you inside of your business. And so that's why you don't need tons and tons of clients. You just need to have a plan and know who it is that you want to actually serve, and a problem that's worthy of being solved. Like, don't try to solve problems that nobody wants solved. Find the problem that they're already thinking about that you don't have to educate someone on or convince them about, and then they'll buy in willingly. So hopefully that was helpful. Let's see. Let me keep going. All right, Paul. How come I can't find my little? Where are all my things? Oh, there they are. Let's keep going. Oh, there's just so much. It took me a second in this little thing to find the little pulley thing to pull the chat down. Let's see here. All right, let me hide that. And if I miss anything, you guys might just have to ask again. George is joining us from Nigeria. How's it going? Marina says, and if anybody's interested in boot camp, incredible amount of information, learning, and so much more. Thank you. Monica's joining us from New York. Lynette says the blueprint's an awesome program, and all of those things are actually included under Jumpstart. Tamala says, well, I still have access to the Jumpstart and Boot Camp when I pass the exam. So Tamala, if you're a current subscriber to Jumpstart, you have access to everything for as long as you're a subscriber. You'll always have access to the Life Coach Certification course, regardless if you are presently doing something or not with us, and you'll also have access in the future to future boot camps. It's something that we allow people to have free audits for the future. So hopefully that makes sense. Best bang for your buck. Thank you. Let's see. China says, I purchased a life coach certification course. I'm not finished yet. If I purchase the Jumpstart Boot Camp, then is that an expedited way to finish? Well, here's the way that it works. When you get into a Jumpstart, it just gives you access to really every course that's out there. Does it expedite things? Well, I mean, I don't know that it necessarily makes you go faster through the steps. Obviously, with boot camp, we accelerate all the training through a weekend. We're going to have another live boot camp probably in about 4 or 5 weeks, something like that's usually the way that we space those things out. So here's the beautiful thing. Everything's accessible for you immediately. So in terms of expedited, you can go through it as fast as you want to go through it. As far as the materials are concerned, but there's a lot of material in terms of business development stuff that we give you in Jumpstart. So in terms of certification, I don't think that speeds you up, but Jumpstart, we give you all the steps so that you can get your business up and going pretty quickly. So hopefully that was a decent answer for you. Let's see. Can we offer a book too? Something we found helpful for your niche problems. Yeah, and maybe you throw that in as, if you price your program right, maybe that ends up being a freebie that's part of it. Something like that. That's a pretty cool thing. Jason's joining us from Wisconsin. Mike is joining us from Kansas City. You guys won big yesterday. Way to go, Kansas City Chiefs. Clarissa from Florida, welcome. Tara says, Paul just made me cry. All right. I'm looking ahead. I'm just trying. There's so many messages, and I'm just trying not to miss anything here. What are the most effective coaching models used in coaching? Well, I think really what it really comes down to, there's two things that I would say about it. One is that the more that we understand, I think human development and what motivates people really helps us as a coach, first and foremost. I think that even if you don't know those things and you just use basic models because they all work. So I wouldn't say that there's one coaching model that I would prefer over another one. I think that probably what has served me in general, like I told my students this weekend, is that you just need to trust the process. It's really simple. It's listening on a really deep level and asking questions. That's going to serve every one of us better than anything. I don't care what model that you have out there. If you're not a good listener and you don't ask good questions, then you're not going to get anywhere with someone, or you'll come to the wrong end. What you're aware of actually affects the kinds of questions that you ask and everything else. So we want to clear those lenses. We want to see people as brilliant and ingenious and all of those things. And that's what's going to serve us really well. The other thing that I would say is knowing what actually motivates people, how people get to change, understanding some of those things can really help us be effective at helping people get breakthrough and stay on point and everything else. But if you never had any of that, if you never read any of the science, if you never understood neuroscience or any of those other kinds of things, if you never understood even human motivation and development or any of those things, if you just became a person who is the best listener, like if our goal was just become the best listener that you possibly can, because that's going to influence the kinds of questions that you ask anyway. Become the best listener. Go as deep in listening as you possibly can. Learn all that you can about listening. Read all the books that you can about listening. All of those things. And what that's going to do, that's going to serve you better than anything. Matter of fact, if you become a really good listener, you can do really anything out there in the world. Like if you become a really good listener, and not just on a sales from a sales perspective, I mean in business, in your life, in your home, in your relationships, and everything, like everything's going to go at an exponential level because you'll know how to respond properly to anything that's the bigger concern. Like I know what you're saying to me, but what's really going on behind the surface? Like what does this person really want? Not what they're saying here on this level, not what my assumption is out of it, because that's what most people do. They listen. Again, what did I say this weekend? They listen at level one. What's level one listening? It's self-focused. It's about what my meaning is. It's about how is this impacting me? We do that with the people that we love. We do that with the people that we dislike. We do that with our bosses, coworkers, and everything else. We're always thinking about what they're saying and how it impacts me, and we're making assumptions about what they do mean. But what if we didn't do that at all? What if we never lived life so presumptuously and through a bunch of assumptions, and we gave people the benefit of the doubt and we didn't react out of how something's impacting us, and that we just listened on a deep level and we got to clarified meaning. And you know what? Not only will we have better relationships, more intimate relationships, the best love that we've ever had in our life, but we'll also be extraordinary as coaches, extraordinary as business people. We'll also leave no guesses when it comes to our marketing and advertising or anything else, because we've asked questions at such a deep level that we're actually connecting with the heart and what's really motivating and really driving people. So there are a lot of different things that I could probably point to and everything else. They don't matter if we're not great listeners. They don't matter if our listening doesn't inform the kinds of questions that we ask. So that's where I would spend the lion's share of my time. Yes, there are different things. I mean, we have advanced skills training where we do neuroscience and all of this other stuff, and you can see how we can break patterns and how we can do different things to focus on the primary drivers behind people and everything else, change beliefs, all of that other stuff. But it all comes down, and all starts with, and it ends with, how good of listeners that we are, because you can only ask a quality question of someone if you understand how they see, how they're hearing, what they're really believing. Those things, you can ask really powerful questions and you can unlock a human being. So that's what I'm going to encourage. If any of you want to give a focal point, don't try to buy models from people. They all work. They all pretty much do the same thing. Don't buy styles from people. Don't spend a lot of time investing your time in that. Get really, really, really good at listening. Pick up books on it. Watch videos about it. See if you can do some things to become a better listener, and you're going to be an extraordinary coach. And you can throw models actually outside the window. Like, you can just like completely like, who cares about this? I'm an extraordinary listener. And you can actually help people get breakthrough in a fraction of the time. Like, sometimes with the models, they take a long time, or this is going to take weeks, or it's going to take months. Man, if you become a really dynamic listener, you can actually get people results in a fraction of the time. And people would much rather get out of pain more quickly than to have something dragged out over months, because we're not doing a great job of listening. So hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that'll be a good tip for everybody. Let's see here. Oh, come on, don't go that direction. Go down. All right, let's see. William from Texas. Who else do I need to say hello to? Is personal and business leadership coaching too broad or vague to describe my niche? I think it's pretty broad. So I would probably, because there's so much leadership coaching out there in a generic sense, if you can connect your leadership coaching with a particular problem or a particular solution, that would really attract people, I think. I'm not saying that you wouldn't get in trouble just saying, "Oh, I'm a leadership coach," or something like that. I think that's fine. I think that's fine that you can say that. But what is it that you bring to the marketplace that nobody else in leadership coaching does? Because I don't want to just be another leadership coach. What's my lane in that? What's my specific piece? What's my specific problem that I'm really good at helping people solve? And if you can speak to that, then that's what will get that's what will attract leaders to your coaching, is that you're like, I'll give you an example. So years ago, and not that they're not still having problems, but years ago, everybody was talking about millennials, millennials, millennials. That's all anybody was talking about. And I became an expert in millennials. It was an interesting time because that's what we had around us all the time. Now I'm a Gen Xer. But the youngest millennials were born in around like 1980, so they're all aging. They're a much older group than what they used to be. But nobody understood them, and everybody was frustrated with them and everything else, and they were saying bad things. But I understood this group of people really well, and I'd been leading them, and I'd been working with them for quite a while. And so what I ended up doing is, not only out of my own experience with helping them, but I also started doing my own research. What motivates this group of people? How do they differ from Gen X, baby boomers, any of the other groups that were existing? And so what I did is that I put things around, specifically around that group. Now, it was a very tight niche that I was picking out of that, but it got everybody's attention because it was a real pain point. And of course, they're not going to just go to some leadership coach to like, what do you do about millennials? And most of them probably wouldn't even know, or give some general principles. But when I would go in, I'd say, here's what this group of people believe. Here's what they want. Here's what their heart's desire is compared to everybody else. And here's how we lead them. Here's what training looks like. Here's what relationships are like, creating structure for them. And so that would always attract the people who came in. So I would always I'd do coaching, but I would do it kind of out of give them a little bit of understanding. And then I would do group coaching, and I'd have people breaking out, and they would come up with their own solutions. And then I'd be up there whiteboarding it. Here's how they're going to go back to their organization. Here's how they're going to go back to their company, and they're going to serve this group of people and also partner with them. Because what were they going to do about a multi-generational workforce that all had different motivators? and different things that, it's kind of like, understanding what a meritocracy is rather than somebody who just gets the big office because they've been in the game longer than everybody else. So it was just different kinds of values that are expressed with generations and everything else. And so that's how I did that. So if you can find a specific problem, that's what I would really go with, that separates you and gets people's attention. All right. Whoa, it's a lot of messages. All right, let me see if I can get going. Someone mentioned having an end time in resolving the problem in coaching. I don't know what that means. Could you be more specific about what you mean about that? Because I'm not really sure what that means. Um, can can a coach ever ask a question that goes unanswered but still has a benefit to the client? Yeah, and you can always bring the question up if you think that it's being avoided. But sometimes we can ask questions that the client doesn't think are necessarily helpful to the situation as well, and we kind of honor that. But you can always bring a question up if you think that it was avoided or not answered, if you think that it's really important. So cool. All right, I'm gonna give this a couple more minutes, but let me just say this one more time for the people who might not have heard it earlier. There's a link inside the description where you can get enrolled in Jumpstart. And Jumpstart's our business development program, where you not only do we walk alongside you to help you build your business, you get everything: training, certification, and a business development roadmap so that you can build your coaching or practice around who you are. We cover really everything. And some of the things that I talked about tonight, again, no new questions for me tonight. I've heard really all of them, and they're all actually in explicit detail. We answer them and show you how to do it inside of Jumpstart. I mean, imagine not having to have any guesswork about whether or not something would actually work. And as you're putting it together, that you could get feedback on anything that you're working on as you're going along the way, and that you have support and a community that walks alongside you, celebrating your steps, celebrating your success, and that you can actually connect and bounce ideas off of. That's what Jumpstart is. It's all of these things. And it's only $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment. You get trained and certified as a part of Jumpstart because not only do you get the life coach certification course, but boot camp, our live weekend, is something that we have available for you to be a part of. You can go to as many boot camps as you want. We allow audits for free, but you start on a Friday. It's 7 powerful sessions that you go through live with a group of people. It's via Zoom, so you can ask questions at the end of each one of those sessions. You can get trained and certified in a single weekend. You can get your certificate, a unique credential ID, and a free listing on lifecoachmatch.com. For those of you who have struggled with marketing messaging, and you've put out a website, you've put out social media, and you're not getting much engagement or anything else, if you're getting the wrong people who are contacting you about coaching, that's a sign that your messaging is actually really bad, and it's usually quite common. Like I'd say 99% of what coaches are doing out there on their social media and on their website is ineffective, and it's not drawing clients. So if you're just copying what other people are doing or emulating things, yeah, that's probably part of the problem. What if we helped you clarify what your niche is and your branding and your messaging, so that you would know that if you had a website out there that in seconds could actually help you convert, or at least bring in, attract the kinds of people that you really want. And this is what we do actually inside of Brand Camp. It's 13 hours, and we go from the very beginning of helping you clarify who your niche is. 13 hours of training. It's step by step on your marketing message. We show you how to design your website. We give you wireframe tools, step by step. What are the components that you should be including inside of your website? Show you how to write a sales page. We show you the elements of writing effective emails. We show you how to optimize your website for search engines. You know that search, and we just throw that in as a bonus. That search engine optimization that most people are paying thousands of dollars for to try to get ranked on a website, that's in here as a model that I walk you through because I know how to get people page 1 of Google. It's not really that hard, but people charge thousands of dollars. You'll have access to that immediately inside of that program. We also have the coaching product launch blueprint. We recover some of those things about discovering your niche. But what we do is that if you are at zero right now with your coaching practice, with your business and everything else, what we do is that we help you brainstorm your business. What's your unique contribution that you're bringing? All of those things that I was talking about earlier about how do you bring in your experience? What are some of the things that you've overcome in your life? What are some of your life learnings? What are some of the problems? What are the people? What are the skills? All of these things, we get you to think through all of that. And when you walk away from that initial brainstorm, you should have a few different ideas that could be your coaching product. You're going to choose one and that you're going to put those tools together to bring you to the day when you start your 14-day product launch sequence. And so really what you have is we show you and we talk about how you do the social media posts, how do you set it up, how do you do your emails, how do you write an email, what's effective messaging that's around there that gets people's attention, how do you create lead magnets, how do you create a funnel, how do you create a pre-launch party to get everybody to show up and excited and build momentum for your practice. That's everything that's actually included in the the coaching product launch blueprint. All of this is included, by the way, inside Jumpstart. $97 a month. That means that when you enroll, you have like 7 courses under this. Not only do you get the business development roadmap, we also have a weekly group coaching call every Wednesday. I answer any coaching related questions, business related questions of people who are in that group. We go to town looking at people's websites and anything that they submit. We have a time of celebration every week where we listen to what people are doing and cheer people on. Like it's an extraordinary community of people who are part of that program. There's an online community as a part of it that people are posting all the time, their wins, what they're working on, helping one another. It's an amazing group of people. And what I would say is that everything that you need to be a successful coach is there, but we need you to show up. $97 a month. It's going to take you 90 seconds to enroll. There is nobody doing all of this in the world of coaching for $97 a month. And I can't guarantee your success. I can guarantee you that you have the steps there and you have the support. You have everything right there to be successful. What you've got to do is overcome your self-doubt and quit procrastinating because you're not getting any younger. You still got a calling and a purpose on your life. You need to go and actually do something about it. The world's waiting. There's people in the world right now that their story is not going to resolve because you won't resolve your story. You need to go do the thing that you were born to do. You need to step into this moment. Is 2022 a great time to start a coaching practice? Absolutely. Better than 2021 was, better than 2020 was, better than 2019, better than 2018, better than 2017, better than 2016. Why? Because it's not about how great the economy is going. It's when people are actually sensitive and they realize that things in their life are not working and they want to do something about it. And that's where everybody is right now. You know what 2020 did for everybody? It showed people what was not working in their life and the things that they never went back to again because it wasn't giving them purpose and it wasn't connecting them with what they were actually made for and it wasn't really making them happy. It's pulling the layers back. Right now, like you don't want people to go back to life like it was before because they're not going to hire you because they're finally actually sensitive to the fact that, hey, my life's not working and I need some help to move forward. This is why you want to start a coaching practice right now because you have everybody's attention. Everybody's aware that things aren't working and they're looking for someone to rise up to actually talk about the problems that they want to actually solve when things are not working. They don't want to sit there and scroll through Instagram and just see people who have their filters on and are telling them what they need to do in their life and they look like they've never had a problem before or a wrinkle in their life. No, they want some people who have been through it, that have some wisdom, that have compassion, that have love, that are great listeners and have some real tools that can help them get breakthrough. That's you. So do something about it. Like click the link, get enrolled. Hey, if not with us, go find a program, but quit procrastinating and quit making the world wait another day. Like I've talked about in the last couple of weeks, there is a life satisfaction crisis that we are in right now. And the only way that we solve it is not more information. It's extraordinary coaches who step up and they close the gap for people. We need people who will step in the gap. We need people who will answer the prayers and the cries in people's hearts that a lot of times people aren't really verbalizing. And that's you. So do it. All right. Let me see if there was anything else that I need to answer. Teresa says, yes, Paul, I just got cold chills when you said that people are waiting. My youngest son told me that today. Oh, that's so good. Um, Tara says, every day that I'm at work, I realize I'm making someone else's dream come true. It makes me want my coaching business to take off even more and more. Harvey says, yes, go find the people that are waiting for you. See, these are some of the coaches who are actually in Jumpstart right now, and they're just hungry people who want the thing that they were made for, but they're passionate about you guys coming into it as well. And so they're just amazing people. So good. Well, cool. Well, this is probably a good stopping point. Listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. Great questions tonight. I hope that really benefited from you. And we'd love to continue walking with you on this journey and help you become who you are made to be. You jumpstart people. You know what? It's Monday. Oh, wait, it's Monday. It's not Tuesday. So tomorrow is Power Lunch. You can join our Power Lunch group. It's free. We do a live Zoom at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Look for that email from me and look for that post of what we'll be talking about tomorrow. It's a little bit more informal because I'm able to actually see your faces and ask questions directly. A little bit more laid back and chill than what I am on a Monday. I think I'm a little more chill than normal because I put a lot of hours in this weekend talking, like about 20 hours of just talking. So I'm in a little bit of recovery with regard to that. So I'm going to give you guys two links inside of the comments right now. One, again, is to enroll in Jumpstart. We would love to have you do that. And then the other thing that I want to give you is the Power Lunch group. I'm going to stick that link in there. You can join for free, and you can join us tomorrow. Make sure that you actually register to be able to get into the Zoom because we do require registration on that. Also, the link to all of the Jumpstart info, if you can't see the chat right now and you're watching me in the future, is inside the description of this video. So listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. Have a great rest of your week and take care.